What a day of bike racing that was. A nailed-on bunch sprint finish with no changes in the GC, and yet we get a day like that. Of course, none of those predictions came true. This, the man, Casper Asgreen, he was fighting right from the off today in the first breakaway of the day, fought to get back in the break that made it, but in the end, indeed, it was him making it solo. Adam, what a ride from the Dane.
Unreal, like completely unreal. From the start of the day, he was in that first move. The next move went, as we saw, which is this one here, and he was in it. You said it earlier, this day didn't look like there'd be any drama, safe day for the GC, looked like a nailed-on bunch sprint. It was anything but that, but this man, I think, targeted this stage from yesterday. He must have looked at the weather, looked at everything into it, because he is a class bike rider, and he wins on days like this. Not often, but he picks them so well when all the things around him can just go perfectly. And it's a great example of it, just an absolute monster on a bike when he gets going. Yeah,
he's amazing, isn't he? This is only his first Giro D'Italia. It's his second Grand Tour win, a second win at this race as well for EF, and a fifth win for the Danes, Robbie.
Yeah, I mean, a Danish festival. I mean, never mind muds. They've got Casper Asgreen as well. Just unbelievable. Like, superlatives do not do any of that justice. You could use whatever you want, but I stood there in that last 25 kilometres in awe that he just went harder and harder and faster and faster. And when he felt like they were starting to get in range of that chasing group and get caught, and he still had two guys with him, he got into that final sort of 6 or 7 kilometres, and Casper ghosted him.
Oh, very good, Robbie. I've got to say, it says something about all the drama behind and everything that we still have to dissect within the GC battle, that Casper Asgreen is still nonetheless probably the headline of the day.
Oh, totally. I mean, I'll be honest, in comms, I asked Adam, I said, Adam, what do you think of Casper Asgreen being in this move? Clearly he wanted to get in that super break that had well early on, but when that came back together and he went away with only 3 other riders, it was 4 when Louis Meintjes dropped back, I thought, what on earth is he doing? It's just amazing, but he must have had it focused on, OK, I'm going to go for this stage, I'm still going to go for it. Maybe he knew a little bit about the weather conditions, how chaotic it might be, risk of crashes, keep myself on the front foot. Clearly the strongest in that move. The speed suit, the aero helmet, the determination, the willingness to get into that move was amazing. And then he left them on the descent. He went over the top of the climb with the other two, left them on the descent, and was never seen again. I mean, Brian Holm, his ex-DS, at Quick-Step, called him an absolute motorbike. They said they've never seen anything like it in the home of Denmark. And then he got signed up. It was quite a strange signing, wasn't it? It was late in the day when he came into pro cycling, but an absolute motorbike. So chuffed for him. None of us gave him any chance at all. And I love the fact we've all been proved wrong, because I just said, that's ridiculous. But here he is winning on the day, so chapeau.
He knows what he's doing, doesn't he?
Well, we said the chances are so low, like in a group that he was in. And what about Louis Meintjes and Intermarché?
What about him?
They called him out of the break. He was in it. He was there. Said, sit up, absolutely no chance. Egg on face moment.
There you go. You've got to be in it to win it.
You do, but what a ride. But the moment you see Casper Asgreen in any break, you could say the chance is almost nil, but they've got Casper Asgreen in there.
Absolutely. What a phenomenal ride that was. There you go, his second Grand Tour stage win to add to his unforgettable Tour de France stage win 2 years ago. Caden Groves then the best of the rest in that sprint behind ahead of Olaf Koy, and that is the rest of your top 10. Richard Carapaz making it into that top 10 from the sprint. I mean, he's just a wonderful, classy bike rider, Adam, and he's the kind of rider that we don't get to talk about all that much. He's 30 years of age now, but he has some huge wins under his belt. A Tour of Flanders, the Tour de France, now, of course, the Giro D'Italia.
It's just unbelievable, and just seeing that interview then, it reminded me, I was down at Quick-Step when he was there, and he is constantly in the mechanics room. He's constantly just fettling with his bike, looking at different ways he can find a better position, what's more aero. We look at the helmet he was wearing today, it was just built for what he was doing. He was just going out front and taking on wind. He is a guy, like I said, looks at every little bit of detail, and that showed today through the course, the weather, the rain, the wind, what he was wearing. I think this was a day where he was like, right, I can win today.
I think he believed from those early stages. He just had belief. The way he was riding with that group, encouraging them, he just believed all day long, didn't he?
Yeah, and there's a few things about it where he said it's the end of the second week, there's a lot of fatigue. It's really hard to chase. I actually think he was unaware there was a big crash in the peloton that sort of took out a lot of riders who may have chased, but he gave himself a chance. Technical circuit with that weather, he knew it'd be hard to catch if he could get on that circuit. He thinks it all through. He's really intelligent, but more than that, he is just a beast.
Got the motor to back it up.
Yeah, Jonathan Walters, of course, a friend of our show. You're imagining him in his cowboy boots doing a little victory dance.
I
which I'm quite
believe
sure
he's
he
just
probably
he's
is.
just done a line dance with his elbows. Well done.